Next on Worcester News Tonight, keeping kids safe on Halloween. Area police departments discuss how they protect trick-or-treaters. And the debate over needle exchange returns to Worcester. Defeated a decade ago, now have opinions changed? Good evening, thanks for joining us. I'm Tim McCone. Halloween is right around the corner, and some in the city were getting their last-minute costume. This Halloween outlet on West Boylston Street was mobbed tonight, with shoppers looking for just the right costume for Halloween.
For me, it's kind of hard because you want to find something that you think looks good and that nobody really knows who you are. I mean, there's no sense of just getting a half mask and everybody says, oh, that's him. You know, I'd rather have nobody know who I was like last year. The whole night, nobody knew who I was. So it was great. And then you walk out the door and they're yelling at you, chasing you down the street. Who are you? Who are you? Never mind, I'll see you next year.
Many area cities and towns have designated times for trick-or-treating, and police departments are also reminding parents be careful about where their kids go. Our Patricia Nicholas has more.
Have a safe, happy, and spooky Halloween.
Halloween is a day for dress-up and sweets. While for some the day is innocent fun, police departments in Central Mass want to remind the community to stay informed.
When they go to certain houses, we encourage the parents to take them to houses where they know the people that are inside, only houses that they know, and houses that, you know, have lights on that want trick-or-treaters.
Police departments like Leicester and Webster have posted links to the state's sex offenders registry. They say parents should check to ensure the safety of their trick-or-treating children. According to the registry, as of October 2015, there are nearly 600 registered sex offenders living in Worcester, more than 200 of them being level 3 offenders. In Leicester, the number is much smaller, but Police Chief James Hurley says they aren't taking any chances.
I will be providing my officers with a copy of the list for Leicester so that when they're out on patrol, they can keep an extra eye on these different areas of the community.
Police also say children should always be under adult supervision. Towns in Central Mass have designated times for trick-or-treating.
First thing we recommend is that prior to going out trick-or-treating, that you check with your local police department and see what the official hours of trick-or-treating are that are sanctioned by the community. And we recommend that you only trick-or-treat during those hours.
Lastly, police say before eating the sweet treats, parents should look at it first.
Any wrappers or anything like that that are open, if anything looks suspect, throw it out. I'm sure they'll have enough candy where they won't miss 1 or 2 pieces if they're not sure about it.
Patricia Nicholas, Worcester News Tonight.
Halloween, not the only event worth taking part in this weekend. Community Police Officer Sean Lovely and others will be walking for 12 straight hours Saturday, beginning at 4 a.m. at Morris Field, all in an effort to help raise funds for a monument at Union Hill Elementary School to honor minority veterans from the area. Donations are accepted, and you can also bring candy, books, or school supplies. The monument will be dedicated with a ceremony on June 14th, which is Flag Day. Pretty cool event. Well, it's not a new issue in Worcester, but discussion over a needle exchange program may soon be back in front of the City Council. Our Kayla Mamlak has the details.
Madnick says it works in other cities and it's time Worcester adopt a needle exchange program. The president of the Committee for Progressive Legislation has brought the item back to the City Council.
I'm not in favor of drug use. I want people to get off drugs. And this program, the whole idea of this program is to encourage people to get off drugs.
Madnick wants the council to join the Massachusetts pilot program for needle exchange. He made the same request 10 years ago. He says if addicts are exchanging clean needles with healthcare providers, it will encourage them to seek treatment. The program will accept and fund 10 cities in Massachusetts. So far, 5 cities participate and more than 1 million needles have been exchanged.
If it was so bad, if it didn't work, you would think someone would have done away with it. No one has.
Many healthcare providers have been in favor of the program as well. Romus Beveus of Spectrum says addicts will use whether or not the clean needles are provided. He says needle exchange will prevent diseases from spreading.
Would you rather have that person who's still suffering from addiction, using dirty needles, sharing needles, increasing diseases in the public, or to reduce diseases?
Those opposing see the program as dangerous and just another way to enable addiction.
More people are dying now of overdoses than AIDS. Not at taxpayers' expense, supplying the instrument of addiction in a heroin overdose situation that we're in this city. All around you, people have died.
Madnick's item was referred to the Public Health and Human Services Committee by City Council. He says he has not heard anything so far and will return to City Council in 90 days if nothing is done.
When something is logical, when something is positive, when something has the support unanimously in the healthcare professional.
And that was our Kayla Mamelak reporting. Well, the former Millis police officer accused of creating an elaborate hoax was back in court today. 24-year-old Brian Johnson faced a judge again this morning for a hearing in Wrentham District Court. Early last month, police say Johnson made up a story about him being shot at before getting into a fiery accident in his cruiser. Authorities say Johnson fired his own gun at the car. The car quickly became engulfed in flames. The report led to a massive manhunt. Johnson is due back in court in December. New developments to tell you about in the case of 2-year-old Bella Bond. Massachusetts officials are reportedly taking a closer look at the social worker who handled a DCF investigation involving the young girl. More from Greg Whalen.
The state is turning its attention to a social worker from the Department of Children and Families following the latest review of the Bella Bond case released by the Office of the Child Advocate. That worker's case history is now coming into question.
We need to let the fact pattern take it where it goes.
DCF was involved with Bella Bond and her mother, Rochelle Bond, in 2012 and 2013 following neglect allegations. The review claims during that time period, a DCF worker on the case copied information from a 2006 assessment report, a report written 6 years before Bella was born. The report also says a 2013 review of cases fitting Bella's was never properly conducted because that 2013 risk assessment contained what they say is cut and pasted information that was outdated and therefore inaccurate.
If there's any kind of a pattern here, we want to make sure there aren't other cases associated with the work that was done by that particular person that we need to review further.
Governor Charlie Baker says the review of the worker and the steps taken are expected to be completed soon.
And then the third thing we need to do is figure out if it was a material issue and if it reflected a different state of affairs than the one that would have been reflected doing something else. And then we'll make a decision at that point about whether or not there's discipline.
Greg Wayland for Worcester News Tonight.
Firefighters in Dudley battled a 3-alarm fire Friday morning. Dudley's fire chief tells us there was a small explosion inside this garage on Silvestri Road. No one was injured, but the commercial garage is believed to be a total loss. The cause is under investigation, but Chief Dean Kochanowski says some welding equipment inside the building may have helped start the fire. It's been in the town of Southbridge for more than 100 years. Now a local bank is helping to keep the landmark beech tree alive and healthy for even longer. Our Olivia Lemon explains.
Beech tree is believed to be more than 130 years old. The local landmark sits outside of the Southbridge Credit Union on Main Street.
A lot of people have said, you know, it's a beautiful tree and it would be too bad to lose it because it has been a part of the Southbridge Main Street for so long.
Jeffrey Davenport is the CEO of Southbridge Credit Union. He says the bank purchased this property more than 10 years ago. When he noticed the tree was starting to lose its branches, he wanted to help save it.
We don't hesitate to put money into buildings to renovate them to make sure that they continue to be part of the history of the town, and so why not the tree?
Davenport says he first called in a tree service to cut down some of the dead branches, but soon realized the problem was underneath the tree, not above it. He says this is when he called Joe Kowalski, owner of Ganesh Tree and Plant Healthcare.
In my opinion, it was worth putting efforts into trying to save.
Kowalski says he's working to help improve the tree both physically and biologically.
Physically, we want to remove the compaction that exists and inspect the soil and cultivate it. And we use a special tool that involves air. We improve the tree's health through improving its biology in the soil. And that involves adding cow manure compost and incorporating that into the soil.
Kowalski says he's been working on the tree for about 2 months, but for him, it's become personal.
It's just fantastic to be involved in to be involved with people and the tree. I mean, if you get involved with one, you're going to have to get involved with the other.
We'll know next year if his work has paid off.
Hopefully next year we can see some good results, which will mean the entire canopy of the tree is producing leaves.
We're hoping that what Joe has done is going to be what we needed to get done to save the tree.
Olivia Lemon,